Welcome, one and all, to Total War PHAROAH. It is with great pleasure that I bring you some preview battles. Creative Assembly recently afforded me the opportunity to play a few preview battles. I should let you know I haven't played the campaign at all, so I really can't report to you much on that front. But yes, another historical Total War game coming at you guys, and it is another Bronze Age game, similar to Troy, but with some important distinct differences. And let's get straight into those right away. So as you saw in the opening there, good old Ramses, who is the leader of my selected army here, is obviously with a bodyguard. So based on what I've seen and what's been presented so far, it seems like this game is going to be a true, proper historical game, focusing less on sort of the mythical, fantastical elements like Troy did. So let's get in close here so you can kind of admire the aesthetic of some of these units. My army composition here is fairly basic, sort of a mid, early game army, if you will. We've got some low-tier spears here, these Egyptian lower spear militia. Of course, the stats are more or less what you would expect from a Total War game. I can confirm to you guys that this is indeed a Total War game, looks like Total War, smells like Total War, plays like Total War, so if you like Total War, you're probably going to enjoy this. Again, it remains to be seen how the campaign mechanics and everything else are going to work, but yeah, so far, so good. Hopefully the recording of this is actually also turning out well. This is my first time doing any recording, so I may end up scrapping this footage if it doesn't work, but hopefully you're seeing this live. Yeah, so we've got a few of these low-tier spears here. We've got 3 of them scattered around. We've got some archers here as well. There's no artillery, of course, given the time period, so archers are going to be the longest range units on the battlefield. No chariots. They are the only mobility in this game, true mobility, although there is a high degree of speed variability in infantry, just like in Troy. Got some Medjay swordsmen here. These are kind of mid-tier light swordsmen, tier 3 even, light swordsmen. It's more spear militia here, some axemen up front, and yeah, then Ramses with his Kopesh bodyguard. We're up against some other Egyptians here. We've got some levy fighters, some club and shield infantry, some two-handed levy clubmen as well, tier 2, and some slingers, along with some more levy fighters here. Also a Kopesh guard for Seti here. So let's get things into full motion as I sort of talk through some of the new mechanics. Of course, it does, as with Troy, have some differing terrain types. There's obviously forests, there's mud as well, which there's not any on this map, but you'll see in future battles. There's also dynamic weather systems, which is something that's returning from old Total War games. So you can see right now things are nice and sunny, and that can actually potentially dry out mud flats on certain areas of the battlefield and sort of decrease the penalties that you would get for them. As you saw there, the predicted sandstorm is the predicted weather rather is also sandstorm. So the weather will change throughout the battle. This is also something that you can set up in custom and multiplayer battles. I did ask the developers, you can set the weather to be either the same the whole time or change partway through. I don't think you can change exactly when during the match it changes, but here you can see that the sandstorm is predicted, will significantly affect ranged units, but for the time being, we're just going to get this nice big melee engagement underway, and I love the aesthetic here. It feels more grounded than Troy, certainly, and especially like the weapons seem very basic, and these little precursor throwing weapons here, I think they're called awls, these little like wooden. I'm going to actually pause this real quick and see if we can catch one in the air, because these are just so cool. I apologize to break up the action, but these little like wooden throwing clubs are just awesome. You can see my swordsmen are throwing those in to contribute some damage. Definitely taking some serious damage in this center pocket right here, but the archers are able to focus fire very effectively on the two-handed clubmen. Obviously, they don't have shields, so likewise, the fast spears can get back, act as a flanker unit in this situation, almost like a light cavalry, and get in on those lower Egyptian militia slingers. You saw the lighting just change very slightly there, which means, yeah, the weather is about to transition. You can see how slowly but surely things start getting more sandy. This icon sort of moving over to cover the sun, if you will, and all of a sudden things are looking interesting. And I'll kind of keep the archers in view so you can see that they kind of come forward a little bit here. You notice the exact moment their range is restricted because they actually do move forward ever so slightly there. But unsurprisingly, we're able to fairly quickly defeat Seti's army here. Seti himself, his Kopesh bodyguard, slugging it out with my Kopesh bodyguard. I really love the distinction, too, between lower tier units having, you know, stone weapons and the higher tier units having very clearly, like, bright, shining bronze armor and weapons. Definitely gives you a very noticeable, distinct way to easily see at a glance sort of the tier of a unit, what kind of performance you can expect. Same thing with these Medjay archers, just absolutely pouring fire, not really caring too much about the sandstorm. I will say I think the weather effects could have more of an impact to really kind of change the gameplay to a higher degree. As it is right now, though, Axemen, swordsmen moving in to clean things up, and we'll just let you guys appreciate the cinematics a little bit more. I mean, I can't really comment too much on unit balance or performance. I did ask on multiplayer, they're not going to be having any special game modes like Domination in Warhammer. There will just be regular old land battles, although, as you guys will see in future videos, the sieges have been kind of brought back to the standard of what we expect from Total Wars, especially historical Total Wars in the past, and that means probably I will be putting up some multiplayer sieges from this game, certainly more so than I ever would with Warhammer, because sieges are actually pretty fun. At least based on my extremely limited experience so far. But yeah, with Seti breaking here, able to finish off the rest of his army, and obviously going to be a victory. Not too hard of a battle, honestly, but interesting to kind of start to get the feel for these units, and also for the dynamic weather. Like I said, I think that the weather could be more impactful, and obviously everything you see here is still early access. Things are certainly subject to change between now and release, but yeah, definitely is a Total War game. I can confirm it's Total War, so again, if you like Total War, you'll probably like this game. There's a good chance. For me personally, I am probably more interested in this game just from the outset than I was with Troy, mostly because it seems like, again, they're leaning away from the mythological elements and more towards grounded real history, which I think has been severely lacking in Total War for quite some time. Don't get me wrong, I love Warhammer. I love, you know, our own real-world mythology as well, but just for a Total War game, it's been so long since we've had a proper kind of historical focused title, right? And I really appreciate that Creative Assembly seems to be leaning more in that direction with this title. So definitely will be bringing you guys some more early access. I've got a couple more battles to show you guys in the coming days, but that's basically it for today. Let's kind of go over the army breakdown here. We do see that, similar to Warhammer, we can see the army damage gold value. So taking a look at the unit performance, unsurprisingly, the archers are going to be one of the main carries for me. In fact, they are overall going to be by far the highest damage unit that I have. Yeah, I mean, Ramsey's bodyguard also did pretty okay as well. And I should mention, on the subject of bodyguards, you can also customize them in multiplayer, right? Like, you can bring infantry bodyguard, archer bodyguard, chariot bodyguard, right? You can change kind of like how you do with mounts in Warhammer, at least is what I've been told. Haven't had a chance to actually try that out for myself, because we were just given these kind of preset battles to play. But still, again, it's Total War. I mean, what else do you want me to say? It's Bronze Age Total War with Egypt. I think it's what a lot of people actually wanted when Troy was released. Again, personally, I think I'm more interested in this than I ever was in Troy, even from the outset. Definitely want to play more of it and see, especially in the campaign. Looking at Seti's army here, I mean, playing against the AI, so it's really hard to make any judgments. But, yeah, their army composition, the slingers seem decent at counter-skirmishing, but overall they seem like they might be the worst skirmisher type. Again, super early to tell, but archers just seem really strong in this game so far already. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Personally, I'm not sure if this is exactly what everyone wanted, but I do think there's going to be a pretty strong subset of people who will very much enjoy this. And personally, I think this is maybe a more appealing offering to a lot of Total War fans than Troy, but I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Definitely let me know your thoughts about Total War PHAROAH. If you plan on playing it, obviously, it's still quite some time out, so I would definitely recommend just to everyone that you continue to keep your eyes here on YouTube, watch myself and other content creators who are going to cover PHAROAH. to know whether or not you should make that purchase decision. I'm not going to be the one to tell you that, but I'll let you guys make your own judgments and just show you what I can of my own gameplay experiences and give you my honest thoughts and feedback. And so far, my honest thoughts are it's Total War. So that's nice because I like Total War. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the Total War button. No, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. So when I do upload more videos, mostly about Warhammer multiplayer, but some PHAROAH probably mixed in there as well, be sure to do all that. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.